Hello everyone and welcome to Thursday. I don't know what I did, but I did something bad because I woke up this morning and like a lot of my upper back, especially the left side up my neck, it feels terrible. So I slept funny. I don't know how I slept, but it was the wrong way to do it. I did something incorrect and I'm so stinking sore today. Good news is, generally when this sort of thing happens, on my next sleep, it tends to correct itself. So hopefully tomorrow I'll feel better. But today I've got to deal with this awful, awful pain. Did breakfast stream this morning. A lot of fun. Went longer than it usually goes, and it's just because we have more people watching than usual, and it's just because of the circumstances. I'm sure that there's a lot of students who are out of school. There's a lot of people that have either reduced hours or are out of work or are working from home. And because of that, that's all combining into more people being online. So, I'm glad that we can provide some level of entertainment. And I think more so a sense of community right now because people are isolated. People aren't going out and doing things, aren't going out and seeing people. Today's Thursday, which would be lunch bunch, but as I said earlier in the week, those are just canceled until otherwise noted. So, yeah. We don't know when life will get back to normal. Speaking of normal, one of the new normal things we need to do is go grocery shopping. And it's new normal because it's probably going to feel real weird. The last time we went shopping was a week ago. A week ago, things were on their way to weird. We had lunch bunch at the brand new Taco Bell. We went down to, what was it, AC Moore? Is that where it was? AC Moore, and got all that paint stuff. And I think it was the next day is when they declared the pandemic. So, a week ago, things still were rooted in some level of normalcy. And we have not went grocery shopping since then because we got supplies last Thursday. So today's the day. And we haven't been out really. The only time we've even left the house in the last week is to go for, 2 walks, 3 walks, something like that? Just around the neighborhood. So that is the extent of what we've done. And, today we're going to change that a little bit. There's some level of nervousness. Absolutely. Like going out every time now is, even to a small degree, some sort of risk. But, we have to get groceries. And while we do have about 2 weeks worth of food, that is intended for if we get sick and can't leave at all. So we're holding on to that, which is predominantly dry goods. I'm going to go out today and see what we can find. All parts of the country are in different states to some degree, but similar states in that there's a lot of, especially paper products that are not available. Toilet paper, from what I've heard, is still not widely available. I talked to one of my friends a few days ago who had went to the store and said, there's a lot of food available, but bread and meat are missing. So I don't know what we're going to find today, but we're going to go out and see what we can find. I think we're also going to maybe get lunch out. All of the restaurants for the entire state are, dine-in is closed. It came down from the governor, and a lot of other states are doing that too. But the restaurants themselves are open for drive-through, takeout, delivery, etc. So that's probably what we're going to do. On the one hand, it is good to support local businesses in that way. And then on the other hand, it helps restore some semblance of normalcy to get something through a drive-through and to at least tell yourself, okay, the world is not completely on fire. I can go through a drive-through and get a meal, and you know, we always would do that at least once a week because I mean, today is the day we would have lunch bunch. So I think we'll do that for lunch, and it'll help a little bit. But for now, we got to go out. You ready, Mal?
Yep.
Okay. Well, let's go. So we went into Publix, and I got to tell you, it wasn't as bad as I was expecting, to be honest. I was actually expecting it to be worse. There was definitely stuff missing, for sure. I mean, there was a good bit of food, but some essentials like rice. Rice was not there. There was no potatoes. There were no bananas when we got in, but Mouse caught the person like starting to stock them and grabbed some bananas, so we got some bananas. You know, a lot of people, there was no rice, but there was lentils.
We got some lentils.
So we got some lentils. I like lentils, and they're good for me too. There was bread was mostly gone. There was a lot of white bread. People don't like white bread, which is fair. I also don't like white bread. There was a lot of white bread and almost no other bread. But I managed to get one of the last like multigrain breads that they had. Otherwise, I mean, toilet paper is gone. No toilet paper. There was very, very little meat. We picked up a hot Italian turkey sausage, which is fine, actually. We can combine that with the lentils and make sausage and lentil soup. Sounds pretty good. But otherwise, all of the like snack food, things like that, that's all fine. It's just, I mean, it's actually what, you know, my buddy had said the other day, like bread and meat. There's no bread and meat, and there is still no toilet paper. So hopeful that changes, not only for us, but for everyone else. Because we still have some toilet paper at home, but, you know, how many more weeks are we going to go before there's, you know, toilet paper again? Anyway, we stopped at curbside to pick up lunch. So as soon as lunch gets here, we'll go home, wash our hands, and then eat lunch and get back to work. It's time to play everyone's favorite game show, Where's Kepi? Did you guess my lap? Because if you did, that's to be expected. Yes, that's where he is. When we got back home, Mal got to work editing the painting video, since she's now finished the painting. And I got to work starting to record the next BioShock DLC, because I did part 1 2 days ago, and now I'm doing part 2. Part 2 is quite different than part 1. It's been fun. Stressful, but fun. And now we're both taking a break for dinner. And dinner tonight is Caesar salad, and then also some
tilapia.
Some frozen tilapia that we've had. We've actually had this in the freezer for a while. But, you know, we don't have like a big freezer. So some of the stuff that we have stored for our food is frozen. But we're realizing that if we want to, you know, pick up frozen stuff to eat, we don't have very much room. So we're going to have to eat some of the frozen stuff because our freezer is literally full. And then we'll have room for other stuff. A lot of it has just really had to do with leftovers, because we would make something, it'd make a lot of food. We would eat some of it, put some of it in refrigerators, and then we would put some of it in the freezer. And now we're like, okay, let's start eating some of that stuff in the freezer, so there'll be
some more room.
Some more room. Did you grab the Chick-fil-A honey roasted barbecue sauce?
I did.
For the tilapia? Okay. I mean, it's sure it's fine. We put what was the name of the herbs that we put on it? It's the French thing.
French herbs de Provence.
But it wasn't enough, I guess.
It's a little dry.
Okay.
The fish has been in the freezer a while.
It has. Tilapia is not like my favorite fish, but tilapia is really one of those fish that it becomes whatever you make it. Mm-hmm. You put spices on it. You dip it in a sauce. You come up with some way to make it more interesting than it actually is, because unlike some other fish, it does not stand well on its own. It's done. Also, it's 1 million degrees up there. 1 million degrees. Don't even go up there. I remember when we moved in here in last June, and for the few months in summer, it was unbearably hot, which led me to, ditch that chair over there and get a mesh chair. And don't get me wrong, that's good. I'm glad I did that, but it's still super, super hot as we are now getting into spring.
Yeah.
Now it's warm.
Fell over.
Whoops, fell over.
I mean, I've told you before, you should get a fan down here and point it up that way. So it blows the cold air down here, because it's cold down here.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you're just really... He's just a magnet for my lap, man. He just never stops. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. As it progresses, we'll see how bad it gets. I mean, the other thing is that it's always worse when I have that door shut. Mm-hmm. And, I recorded a lot today, so the door stayed shut, and that's one of the reasons it got so warm. I don't have to record anything for a while, because I recorded a great deal today. So the door will stay open again, and it'll probably be less warm, hopefully. Fingers crossed. I'm not going to talk too much about the BioShock Infinite DLC. It was good. It added to BioShock Infinite, and also to BioShock as a whole. So it was really good. It was the second part of the DLC is it's stealth, and I was not expecting that, and it's fun, but it's a little slow. Like, the pace is definitely way slower as a result, because I'm so used to run and gun, just boom, 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 and you can't do that. You will get annihilated. So it really forces you to change how you play, and I was fine with it, but it took me a while to actually get through it. So the DLC as a whole, parts 1 and 2, ended up being longer than I expected it would be. And I mean, that's good for fans of BioShock. It's longer on the channel. But the pacing of that second part, the pacing of the first part is fast. Pacing of the second part, because of this stealth, is actually a little slow. But the story stuff that's in part 2 is just astounding, especially, obviously, as you get close to the end and the ending. But yeah, I hope folks will enjoy that. And again, there's a fair bit of DLC, so when it comes back to the channel, it'll actually be on the channel for a bit. So look forward to that. And again, one of the reasons that I went ahead and did them both is, for one, I can avoid spoilers completely from folks, which is nice. But then number two, with that out of the way, I can now basically completely focus my attention on the old projects I was working on. And that sounds pretty great to me. And you finished your painting. Uh-huh. But that was yesterday.
Yeah.
So how far did you get on your video is a better question then.
I finished the time lapse and hit export, and then I played Animal Crossing.
Oh yeah, Animal Crossing came out. How's Animal Crossing?
Great.
Is it great?
It's beautiful.
Okay. Well, that's good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, it's past midnight. So yeah, Mal played Animal Crossing. Forgot. I was very much in a different world. A very, very different world than Animal Crossing. But I'll get a chance to play it tomorrow night on the stream. Because I'll be playing tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern on Twitch. Mal will be there too, but it'll be my first time experiencing the game, and you will have already experienced everything I get to experience.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to give me all the hot tips.
Yeah, it's difficult. Gotta watch out for that first boss.
Is it Tom Nook?
It's a doozy of a boss fight.
It's Tom Nook. You have to fight him. All right, I'm gonna end it here. I'm tired. I had a lot of fun. I can now say I've played all of BioShock, all the games and all the DLCs, aside from like the multiplayer stuff, because I never played the multiplayer stuff, but all the single player story stuff. It's a great series, and having played and experienced it all, it's actually even better. It's actually even better. That being said, it's even at the end of the DLC, there's some stuff to wrap your mind around that I'll have to ponder a little bit longer and probably look up to see just the faintest little hints of things I may have not caught. But it's fun putting all the pieces together. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, let's be back tomorrow, shall we?